Hello, this is Phil Nelson. I'm going to review some of my skills with the Access database tables. I'm going to show how I link to DBase. It's happened in this case to be DBase tables, but I have linked to tables in SQL. I'll show you my query tables. I'll be creating new files using the query tables. I do query within query, but I do not believe I demo it in this report here. I do generate pivot tables and use queries to do that. I'll show you my pivot tables, and then I'll be showing you how I do formatting and access, and then you'll see me run macros that I developed. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
I'd like to review a recent project I've worked on using Access to show my capabilities with the system. This particular project was designed to move DBase files over to SQL with a change in the chart of accounts on the way there. So it's going to be a data conversion, but it was within the same family of programs. In the end, we decided to go ahead and upgrade to the SQL with their automatic approach, and then set up a new company with the new chart of accounts and do the conversion then from a SQL to a SQL. It should make the mapping a little easier and be able to pull the data together. First thing I did was link into the various tables that I needed to do the transfer. Here it is here. And we get the DBase files down here. And then we just connect in and do the usual thing to link. So we got these linked in. We then did some queries and output some files here, which were ultimately appended to and uploaded, or would have been uploaded had we completed this project, but decided not to. These are the queries I developed. This is the one that takes the major data file and begins a conversion and getting the data ready to do a mapping. We had to have the detail from the ledger, and we tied that into the account code. And we included all records in the GLDET, and that way we could tell if we had some blanks in here. We've got a problem here. We've got some orphan records. So this happened in another project I worked on, kind of interesting. So I created many journal entries to bring the ledger into balance. Kind of a strange situation. But here we are. And then I'll go ahead and now this was when run up here would create a data file, but I'm just going to show what it looks like here. Now the way I do it is I create a field which is the name of the file if we have more than one file being used, and especially in some cases more than one company, and then we just do the typical conversion to create account numbers. Now this is an account, I call it the account full, which included the account number, the fund, and 3 different cost centers used to track activities and fundraising and so on. I created an account that I used in the pivot table, which you see later, which included the account full that I had created earlier and the account name. And let's see, I wanted to show you, I also had to manipulate the dates. Here we had the date for the year, and then we have a date where I converted the year with a dash and then the month using the format feature and making sure it had a 0 if the number was less than 10. and we filtered all transactions. We only picked up those that were greater than the end of 2005. It turned out prior to 2005 were in another data file. Here you see the various fields that were created. Here's where I created the month, year field. Here's the year field. And the rest of the data, of course, this balances out to 0. So we had queries to do the conversion from the original data files, and then we appended all the transactions so they came together to this table right here. I created a macro so I didn't have to keep rerunning these queries, and it just does one query after another. I let it report back to me what was going on because I had some issues I wanted to look at. So you get the warning here, but that told me that it was running the way I wanted it to. Okay, we're done. Let's take a look at the query I did for, this is the cross-tab pivot table, if you like the word better, right here. And in this case, if you look at the query itself, I was isolating one of the funds because I was using that to track how the transactions were being pulled in against the actual trial balance that the system gave. And then this is what it looked like with years across the top. We could have isolated, say, a particular year and done months across the top. There's a million things you can do with the pivots. And I like using Access sometimes, especially when it comes to database files. If a company has SQL and so on, and I either have a shadow database, a warehouse, then this can be used for crosstabs, and then you can generate reports in Access or generate reports in Excel. Just so you know, I do know how to do a query within a query to pull stuff, to do updates to a query, and then do a query on that query, and so on, do the nested query approach. I didn't need it for this particular transaction.